This is Comic-Con. Yeah.
ATENHUT Private. This is the War on Comics. I'm Colin.
I'm Omar.
We're breaking form for you today. We're not talking about any comics right now. This is the San Diego Comic-Con review, which, yeah, bro, Thor was there.
Holy
fucking
shit.
Spider-Man, because of the multiverse,
of course.
you know. Zendaya? No, I don't think. I don't think. I don't know. I guess the celebrity stuff was like Peacemaker things. So
dude, I saw John Cena showed up in the suit again.
Okay.
What a G.
Yeah. Anyways, that's this is not a celebrity podcast. This is a comics podcast. San Diego Comic-Con is a comic convention. So I feel like
if you're not familiar,
as a man on the streets, I feel like I can talk about it from that perspective. It is so strange. You've never been.
I've never been. I've never like fully attended a Comic-Con other than like we helped people set up one day.
Yeah, like local
like
cons,
a local hub,
but not the big show. That's so strange to me because you are a San Diego native.
Yeah.
I'm a San Diego native. San Diego Comic-Con is kind of like what we're known for.
Yeah.
I have like so much nostalgia wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
Because I was going early 90s. Like probably 90 to like 95 or so, which is like in the trenches seeing like all the Image Comics stuff and just the whole paradigm back then was crazy.
What era, if you don't mind me asking, of the Image Comics was like, what did that feel like, honestly? Like,
okay. So here's because I got in on that era, which was like the comics creators as rock stars time.
Whoa.
Like you were still standing in line and you were getting autographs. I was, because I was a little kid, and there was like speculator buzz and everything. I'm like, I want my Wildcats comics to increase in value. Of course.
I would be a fool.
So I was like, I got all these guys' autographs and everything, and I can't communicate enough. It was like totally free. Like no one charged for autographs.
Oh yeah, that concept is insane to me.
And I would get sketches from people. I think a lot of it is because I was a little kid. One day I'm going to find this sketchbook, and we're going to have a real mind bender of an episode, though. But you would just go up to creators and ask for sketches, and they would just give them to you. Once I found out you could do that, I was a poor kid, so I was like, trick or treat was like my shit, and this is like, this is like trick or treat.
Yeah.
You go up to Evan Dorkin, and you're like, give me your fucking sketch, brother. And he's like, all right. And again, I think being a kid, I probably got away with a lot more than, if I looked like the comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I think maybe they would rightfully be a little skeeved out. So, I took a break from all that around like 94, 95 when a lot of people my generation dipped out of comics, the great crash or whatever.
Yeah.
I came back after a while, and it was insane that it was like everyone's charging for everything. It's just no qualms about it. Like, you want a Liefeld sketch, like, pay the man. I'm not even saying that's necessarily wrong, but that's how it is. Back then, there's only one guy who charged for an autograph, and that was Lou Ferrigno from
the Hulk.
Yeah. Which is just funny, you just see him at a booth or whatever, and everyone was like, that guy's the biggest fucking asshole in the world back then. But it was like, the most like restrictions there would be like, Stan Lee would be like, hey, 2 autographs only. And so you would get like the peak of dudes who would sign your shit, wait in line, have some FaceTime with them. There was no question about like, I don't know, any...
Even though fandom was so, like, I would say that for me, that's like the worst part of comics is like the era of like when comics were like Pokemon cards back in the day.
The speculator
stuff.
Yeah.
That is like the most difficult part for me to get into, but it's like that part of, as much as I don't like it, it's part of fandom now.
It's very silly to me because it's like, I don't know, I guess a friend of mine, he said something very wise, and I would like to impart this to you, to the viewer.
Pay attention, y'all.
He says you collect 2 things.
Okay.
So any 2 things you want, but just 2 things. And if you go over that, you're a weirdo. If you go under that, you're probably decent. Maybe you're a monk or something like that. but it's like, you know, if you're gonna, for me, it's like, you know, I hoard clothes and records, you know, and so it's like, I love toys. I think they're really cool, like vintage toys and stuff. I will never, ever, ever let myself buy a single fucking, you know, I don't know, Punisher fucking thing, or like, you know, any fucking like, those what are those ones, those reaction ones, like the Super 7 joys, or it's like,
those ones are sick.
they're cool. Obviously, like, you know, I see The Brood, the David Cronenberg movie, as an action figure. I'm like, God, that's cool. Obviously, I see that, but guess what, brother? You can collect two things. Right. And my slots are filled.
Right. I see these kind of like, I think, look, man, I have a really difficult relationship with owning things.
Right.
I think we've talked about it before, where like,
very complicated.
It feels like you're just shepherding these things until you die. And then it's like they get left behind. But the thing is, I had a point with that like, I think people nowadays, they are in the before times.
Right.
I think it was like we were less like identifying with things as like, I need to have this stuff to be myself, like a DC guy. I need to buy these certain books, where before I felt like it was more open. You can just be a collector of whatever comics you wanted. You didn't have to buy the Funko Pops to feel like you were part of the group, you know? Like,
you gave me an underhand pitch of the perfect transition here, because like I said, the era I was in, it was the creators ran the show. The lines around the block were for Jim Lee, Liefeld, all of those cats. And if you were cool, you know, you would go and you would see a guy like Evan Dorkin, or like obviously any of the Fantagraphics guys were there. Hernandez brothers were eternally there. You know, there's all these people who were, you know, cool and underground, who didn't have lines around the block, but like they were available if you wanted to.
Approachable.
Absolutely, 100%. And even like, it sounds so crazy now, but like Kevin Smith would show up and like hang out at his booth and like sell Jay and Silent Bob merch and stuff. And again, just walk up and, you know, meet and greet kind of stuff. Different fucking world. And so I think being a kid and seeing that, very formative years for me, I was really affected by how important creators were, because these were ultimately artists. They weren't like, you know, supermodels or people that were up on this platform because they looked good. It was because they did cool shit.
The celebrity part, was that there other than the like Jim Lee or Rob?
Oh, it was definitely there. I mean, these people were and are celebrities in that world. Like, it wasn't like, oh, everyone was just hanging out and vibing. Like, no, you were getting an autograph from someone. There's no way to put, there's no like egalitarian way for someone to sign your shit.
It was an exchange kind of spot.
Yes, it just wasn't bound by money. It was just admiration and fandom. You know, you loved their stuff. They were the shit. But they, the individual creators, were the shit. Going now, I am like so shocked, and not shocked, because obviously I keep up with, you know, current events and everything and the development of this fandom over time. But like, Jim Lee isn't a star. Batman is a star, you know?
Right.
And like DC Comics isn't a star. Even it's like fucking Deku from fucking
it's
My Hero Academia. Fucking Lil Boo Boo is the star. Like, that's what the lines are for. Funko Pops.
Right.
Like real human beings, flesh and blood, sitting, waiting in line to buy fucking plastic garbage. And in a way, you know, maybe they are like flipping and selling and like making some money, which to me, maybe that sounds gross. I think real collectors hate that stuff, right? They're like,
I think so.
Oh, these are fucking flippers.
Right.
Their heart's not in it. They don't want to buy the piece of shit plastic for themselves. To me, I'm like, good. At least they're fucking building up the GDP, you know? Like, they're moving some fucking, there's some profit. I could, you know, part of me is like, you know, I buy and sell product for living, you know, like I'm in the world of commerce. I'm not a bystander here.
Right.
And in my world, it's like it's buy for $1, sell for $2 all day long.
Yeah.
So I understand that part, but it's also, to me, when you have like a business and have a certain income that you make every day, it's taking 45 minutes out of my day to buy a Funko Pop to sell on eBay to make $40. That's a huge fucking monstrous overstatement. That ain't moving the needle. I mean, checking my privilege and everything, I get it. But these aren't. Tickets to this motherfucker are $400. How the fuck? So it ain't
gonna get that off Funko.
It ain't like working class. I mean, it's working class people and all that, but it's not like the underprivileged who are showing up to Comic-Con to flip this stuff. If they're flipping it, hopefully they're flipping
Hopefully
it.
They are.
Don't fucking. If you're not, you're fucking filling your house with goddamn plastic fucking PVC figurines of fucking anime figures and like
kind of just this pointless. I mean, to us, or to me, it's a very nihilistic way of engaging with comics.
And partially it's because you're not, if you buy the fucking Batman PVC pin or whatever the fuck nonsense, you're not lining up to meet the artist. The artist is completely removed. It's all IP. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
What are we? Are you getting a? You're gonna get the fucking guy who makes the molds for Funko sign your shit?
I mean, they celebrate. Have you heard of the Sofubi trend? Shit?
Okay, yeah.
But the Japanese have just way more reverence over craft, I think. Here, dude, it's sounding more like, all right, it's Batman with a feature.
Yeah, and
who's the feature this month?
And you know what? The world keeps getting more insane because now it's not only you're lining up to get the product, you're lining up to get this blind box thing. You know how the blind box thing works?
No.
So the Labubu that you've heard about, they kind of cracked the code on this in a way. I think it's Pop Mart is a company that does that. So you go to the store, you see a Funko Pop on the shelf, and it's like whatever. It's Rick and Morty 2-packs, and there they are. And sometimes there's these things called chases where it's like it's Rick and Morty, but they glow in the dark, and those will be like a rare version that's only available on here and there. So like an alternate version of it, or it's like a Walking Dead guy, but he's got blood splatter on him, and that's the rare one. Yes, variants. Fine, cool. We'll just accept that as reality. So what a blind box is it's the same thing, but imagine instead of seeing the Rick and the Mortys on there, they're wrapped up in a piece of paper, and you don't know what's inside until you buy it, take off the shrink wrap, rip open the thing. So if you want the version that's glow in the dark or the version that's blood splatter, you buy 10 of these things, and you open them all up, and you hope that one of them has the rare version. What if it doesn't? You've just bought all of these fucking shit that just has the common version of whatever IP you're buying. I can't process this shit, man. It is so fucking wasteful, and it gets worse. And it's like, again, I'm talking like, okay, let's try to, the silver lining here. You buy the blind box, you rip it off, you get the variant you want. Awesome. Guess
You're
what?
happy.
You still have a piece of fucking plastic shit.
At the end of the day,
that's the fucking goal.
Future garbage.
Everything went as proper as it possibly could have, and the end result is you have a fucking plastic piece of shit in your hands.
And what do you want?
That's shaped like Beavis and or Butthead. And it's like, bro, just watch the fucking shows again. I have fond memories of Beavis and Butthead. I'll watch the fucking music video compilations. There's nothing wrong with Beavis and Butthead. It's like, why do you need this fucking piece of plastic shit?
Who told you to get that?
I'll permit, again, maybe it's one of the two things. If this guy's just buying Beavis and Butthead stuff or just buying...
It's Beavis or Butthead.
No, you can buy both. You can buy Beavis and Butthead stuff, and you can get South Park stuff.
Shit. Yeah.
And that's your two. Those are your two things. Course. Again, it's two things you got. I don't want to see a fucking Snoopy
Sounds
toy.
Like Christmas '98, dude.
No, you get one or the other, or you get both. But then you're capped. You're capped. No more or you buy the plastic toys, but I don't want to see you buying DVDs now.
Yeah,
because your thing you collect is a plastic toy. You can maybe get the plastic figurines from one company and
Honestly, who can afford that shit? If you are going like,
I mean,
hyper collector, because this falls. All right, we're going back to the fucking simulacra book. In a hyper reality. Well, let me even backtrack. What it kind of sounds like is that I think we're a lost consumer generation because these homies, I think you're not. I mean, if you were collecting like back in the day, if like I remember having to go to like Balboa Park and buying comics off the newsstand, but it was every like Wednesday they would drop the new one at the newsstand.
Right.
When you brought that to school, people were like, "What the fuck? Where did you get this? Like that's so sick." Oh, dude, I found it in the back of the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
it came with a story.
Not to belabor the point, but you bought a piece of art that a human hand drew down on a piece of paper and then was mass produced. A. B. That thing you bought, you can now read it with your eyes. So there's a utility there. Mm-hmm. You can hand it off to the next person and they can read it and we can all read what human beings wrote and drew for eternity. A fucking plastic piece of shit is just fucking taking up fucking space. There's no utility. A comic book has utility. And look, I'm obsessed with comics. I read comics all the time. I'm not a comic book collector, meaning I'm just as happy checking books out at the library, trades, all that shit. This fucking new world of slabbing first editions of first appearances, and that goes back to it too. Because when I was younger and I did collect, and I was like a 12-year-old who thought all this fucking comics were going to be worth a whole lot of money as a kid, and that was a draw or an appeal to me. Like there were comics that were rarer because of the art. Like this is the Punisher Warzone that Jim Lee drew before he was motherfucking Jim Lee. These have more values. This is Sam Keith's first published shit. This is so-and-so's cover that they did. So because this person drew the cover of this, it's cool. And I swear to God, if you watch that speculator world, they're like, well, this is the first appearance of, the version of Blue Beetle that's going to be in the next DC movie. Right. And this one is going up in value because of that. And so even in the world, speculative bullshit right there. And even in the world where it is a comic book that they're after, it's the IP that's driving these prices. And I want to I'm not against vendors or anything that have to lean on that, because being a part of that side now, it's different. You kind of have to bend to the will of the person that's engaging with your stuff. Or if you're making comics, maybe you notice people are, and I just think it goes into the art too. Sometimes when we are so there was an example that I had this past weekend I read. So I've been reading the Sonic Archie stuff. Oh, that's so tight. My dude, Ken Penders, fucking tearing it up. Who hangs out at Comic-Con to this day. A sad little man with his Akinda art. I want to buy his new book. Dude, he's there. Oh, dude, we got to get you that. Would make him so happy. I've never seen a soul talking to Ken Penders. No diss to Ken Penders. You're a fucking weirdo. You're so weird and sick in your own way, but you're weird. I mean, I pass him. I've gone a couple of years now, and every time I pass him, I'm kind of just dude, it feels like I'm around someone naughty, and I don't know why. Illegal, but it's. I think we got to read it. Fuck yes. I've been wanting to read Sonic for so long. Is there someone hinged? Yeah, coming up next one. We're gonna get that neurodivergent crowd. We're gonna fucking get them. That's the next step. Definitely hitting our target audience. Penders verse, we're coming for you, baby. Here we go, guys. So I mean, let's set the tone. We are going back to Comic-Con this year. That's the consumer. Yes, I think. Storm we're in. I've done some shitting on it. You want some silver linings? Yeah, we started talking sick. Okay, lots of sick stuff. I'm shitting on it overall. It's changed overall. Yes, it's Hollywood. Yes, it's IP. Yes, it's TV shows being previewed. Blah 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 blah. let me tell you the first panel I went to, because there's panels, you know, you go in these rooms, and all you ever hear about with these panels is like, they're going to show a trailer for a movie that's coming out. Who gives a fuck? You're psychotic. You're going to watch a fucking, you stood in line to watch an ad.
Something that's going to be broadcast if not the second that it premieres at the panels, it goes on like the next day.
Stop it. And what are you, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I'm not supposed to shit on things people like, I guess.
Shit on that shit.
The first panel I go to is Alison Bechdel, just hanging out. Small room, you go up, you sit down, there she is. You're around a bunch of like-minded people. Yeah. And she's showing previews of her new, or just kind of doing a talk on her new book. She's got like an AV thing set up. She's clicking through panels. She's doing readings. She's showing. She's got a presentation. I mean, she's a pro. She's got it down, you know. And like she's giving insight into her comics, her world. Do you know about her new comic? What she has coming out? No. I didn't know about this.
Is it Fantagraphics or?
No, she's like you know, fucking Random House. She's like very real.
Fuck.
She's like not doing she's above ground.
Alison Bechdel. Fucking.
That's why fucking Fun Home and Are You My Mother is in like every library across the world.
That's gigantic.
She's not like she's. If you want to talk about someone who has ascended the, you know, IP world. Yeah. She's the dream. So, you know, her old comic dykes to watch out for. She switched to doing like autobiographical stuff from like the kind of mid 2000s on. And for her new comic, what she did, she wanted to kind of catch up with the characters from her 80s comics. Ooh. And so she's like, I wanted to merge them. So she did like her interacting with those characters like as they are now. So they're aged up to like, you know, where they would be the last 20 years. And they're dealing with everything that you would deal with in a, you know, in the modern world. And it's like how those characters from the 80s have pivoted or, you know, who we haven't heard from in 20-ish years and like how they're interacting with her, the person. It's like a fascinating concept.
Roger Rabbit shit. Right
hearing the artist, you know, break down her work like that, like I was, you know, through the moon, overly sold. And, you know, and then, you know, you could go downstairs and buy, you buy the comics and then she signs them. But like the booth they had, it was kind of funny. It was like, you know, they weren't used to having a lot of traffic. It's a very small press thing. So, you know, they got like a handful of books, but there's just so many people, I think, got fired up, myself included, from the talk. Yeah, they're like,
so sick.
Sign me up. Let me get a book. And they're like, we're out. There's a line. Like, you know, there's not a line at this poor booth. It's like, you know, what do they call it? Queer comics kind of booth. You know, like they're not dealing with the Funko Pop kind of lines, but they have to manage this line of people who are just enthusiastic to buy this woman's book. And every single person was just like, yeah, absolutely. Just let us know. Let us know. Like there's no like, again, if this was someone trying to sell a fucking Galactus popcorn bucket or something, there would be people throwing elbows and clawing eyes out. But because it's a small press artist, everyone is like super respectful. It was like electrifying. It's so inspirational to see, you know, a real art, like the reason Comic-Con exists, a real art, you know.
Fucking and then, storyteller, like a completely what's it called, S tier fucking storyteller, you know.
And let's see here. I got a space on the person's name, and I feel very silly, but I just want to get it right.
Click, make sure we got some color. Okay, sick. Perfect. I'm not even gonna touch it. Damn.
And so I'm through the moon after this panel, you know, and I'm going downstairs, I'm digging through comics, and then 4:00 it's Eddie Campbell, who did From Hell and Bacchus and a million other stories. And
these guys are still around.
They're still around. They're just hanging out, and it's like, you know, it's not. Again, these panels are not like. Again, if you hear story of, you know, Hall H camping out all night, you know, fucking Chris Helmsworth is there, you hear all that shit. It's like the opposite. It is, again, to me, it was like I'm in 1992. I'm taken back there. You know, I'm watching Sergio Aragonés at the Mad Magazine panel. You know, it was so fucking cool hearing, and Eddie Campbell's like aggressively Scottish, right? So like, anytime you get to hear Scottish people talk,
and they're just shitting on everything.
Oh yeah, they got acerbic wit.
Yeah,
and you can ask him any question you want. Just hearing him talk about his art and all the things he has coming up, it's like, yeah, totally. I don't know, enlightening. I guess.
Yeah, was it a so I watched Mascot the other day on Netflix, and I liked the part at the end when the guy goes, my glass isn't half empty or half full, it's just full. So he just engages in his mascottery,
right,
just because he enjoys it. Is that comic book heaven right there? Like, is that a space where it lives? And,
I mean, it's like it's heaven is a crack in the sidewalk,
right?
That you have to go digging in, because it's definitely, again, I can't stress enough. Like, on one hand, I would say if you love comics, San Diego Comic Con is not the place for you, because there's fewer and fewer vendors. Like, I went through the hall up and down, left and right, and there was no dollar bins. There's no quarter bins. There's no anything like that. If you want bargains, they're not there. How the fuck could they possibly be there when it's so expensive to vend for a comic book person? There's a lot of like places.
It's not worth it.
It's not about worth. It's like, I mean, I don't know. The dollar bin might just be a completely antiquated concept.
Is that a
anyways.
fucking dinosaur?
Because you have. I mean, there's a bunch of comics that no one wants, obviously. But the idea of, if you have space to store them, then you probably live in an area that isn't densely populated. You're not in a huge urban setting, right? You have to be in, no offense, a flyover state, or a small town where you can get like a huge bunch of square footage for not a bunch of money to store your stuff, right? And so the Comic Con comes around to a big city. You have to load your shit up in the U-Haul, get it down there, unload it.
It's huge undertaking.
Now here's your warehouse filled with dollar comics that, you're a viable business. People are coming through, digging all the time. I'm sure it's awesome. But you're looking at lugging all this shit around and going $1 a pop, 12 for $10, or you're looking at that Venom bust for $300. You're looking at, a bunch of omnibuses that you could throw out at $50 a pop. If you're able to afford a small little nook at one of these Comic Cons, you're not lugging the dollar stuff around. Maybe at smaller conventions, maybe in smaller towns, I'm pleading ignorance on. But at San Diego Comic Con, the dollar bins aren't there. There's some good discount trade paperbacks, which I like loaded up on.
Right.
I got a lot of trades. It was and like Fantagraphics is there, so you can kind of get caught up. Drawn in Quarterly, those kind of small press places are there, and they got stacks of stuff that, if at least for someone like me that isn't like refreshing Twitter every day or whatever the fuck. Someone who's still calling it fucking Twitter, obviously I'm a little, I'm not, up to the current minute of everything that's being published, even when it's from publishers I like. So you go to something like this, you see it all spread out, you drop some coin for sure. And it's
the
awesome.
finds you got were like top tier. I'm curious about what your favorite cop was.
Oh, they had this one place had like half price trades, and I fucked up because I went to them later in the day.
Oh, shit.
But they had like some old creepy anthologies, which are really tough to find. They're just out of print.
Okay.
And so to get them, not just to get them at cover and then at half price was awesome. Just like, basic, whoever the last person was that published the creepy anthologies. So that was like the rare ones, but just seeing like, the Hate Revisited, the Peter Baggs.
That stuff was amazing.
An anthology of all those comics that have been coming out, because I missed a few issues here and there. And there's new Moomin collections. They've had like some deluxe versions come out. They're like hardcover and nice, but these are like kind of like how Fantagraphics did the Peanuts comics, like half size. So it's just a strip, and it's like this paperback, bang for your buck economy, which is what I'm into. So there was like, again, nothing that's like a crazy score, but just like, oh, that's cool. Here they are. And
in the setting, That's all you're looking for. Really.
Absolutely. And again, to silver lining this bitch. A lot of people selling original art, which is just
that's excellent.
I'm probably their worst nightmare because I just go to look at it and I know damn well I ain't paying. Yeah, like sorry, brother, I'm not spending $1,600 for
yikes
whatever for whatever.
I mean,
and that's for the just a random ass '90s Hawkman comic. If you want a Richard Corbin splash page or a fill in the blank, Jim Steranko cover, it's like 5 figures. All day long, no questions asked.
But that's, I mean,
to see it,
that's
to see it in person, to look at the line work, and like there is nowhere else selling that kind of stuff. It's it's very cool, and I would say in that regard, again, the comic stuff is still there. The person who got me my pass, she's a local artist, Sue Daw. She had a connection to someone else.
Nice.
I got her to do the cover art for our record that came out. So like these kind of connections are still there if you're hanging out at Artist Alley, if you're, seeking out the small press stuff, like it is still there. It's not all Funkos and Labubu's. It's a lot of fun. It's like the iceberg is fucking, it's reversed.
Right.
There's a small little gritty underground.
The avalanche is the fucking Funko people.
Where you could talk to, who was it? Another panel I went to was Mark Evanier and Mark Wade.
Oh, nice.
It was like the Marks answer everything. It's just total free form.
Sick.
Just two vets talking shit,
Is it like, was that an image panel?
No, just
fuck yeah.
Here we are. Mark Evanier is like the king there. He goes to every.
Oh, he's at
a million different panels.
He was Jack Kirby's assistant or something like that?
Yes, and also the main writer for Gru the Wanderer.
Okay.
And while that's happening, unbeknownst to me at the time, I have found this out in post, he wrote like every episode of Garfield and Friends.
From the 90s?
Yes.
Wow.
That's all him. And that was my favorite fucking show growing up.
That's the best. That's what I thought Garfield was.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
With the farm animals.
Yeah. The U.S. acres.
Dude.
No, fucking right. And here's the weird thing. Listen, this is... like you look up the Wikipedia for Garfield and Friends. First of all, watch Garfield and Friends. It's still really funny.
Holds up. I've seen it recently.
It's on Tubi. It's free.
There you go.
Fucking fire it up. It's
thank God for Tubi.
Now, why is it funny? Because every single episode is written and possibly directed by Mark Evanier. He is the man on it. And you can look at the wiki. It's not like, this episode. It's like there's him. And of course, the tone is consistent throughout the episode. And how many cartoons? I like 80s cartoons. I'll just watch whatever. Put on G.I. Joe. Put on fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Whatever.
Such another feel, though.
I love them, but like I couldn't tell you who wrote any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode. I couldn't tell you who was writing and directing and doing whatever. And the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I'm sure there was teams of people doing that.
Got to be people, and this is perhaps my ignorance, but. I know that whoever it was, they didn't write fucking Gru the Wanderer.
I mean, true. That book is everything that you would want in a comic, like in that comic-y vein of like it takes Marvel. I think that one we should definitely look.
Oh yeah, we need to look at some Gru for sure. And like, maybe you find that comic sensibility hokey or whatever, but it's like it's a good to have one man thumbprint on. Like my adolescence in that kind of way. Again, huge. I love Garfield growing up. I didn't know it was him, and I didn't put the names together, Yeah. And then I'm hanging out in a room and hearing him fucking talk about anything he wants to talk about. That's insane. Fucking cool. Yeah. That's very fucking cool. So I have nothing but great things to say. Well, no, I guess I can't say I have nothing but great things to say. I have a few good things to say about San Diego Comic-Con. I can endorse the San Diego Comic Book Convention.
Like a certain square footage.
Yeah, a small tapered off version. And then I have a kind of like existential dread that would, put Nietzsche in a tailspin over here, thinking about the fucking plastic crap, just mounds and mounds and landfills upon landfills of fucking bullshit.
Yeah, man. It's all it's what's going to tip over California into the ocean.
It's astonishing. And I guess there's something kind of cool about it in the same way that it's like, it's spectacle, right?
Actually, yeah, that part, I think it's cool, but it's like this, I don't know why it grates my ears, but it's what I've been kind of thinking about, like, in the consumerist way of like, it's empty calories.
Yeah.
It's like the fun was the chase, but you're not walking away with anything that you're happy with. Honestly, I'd respect you guys more, Funko people, if you guys made like little stories with them. Like, I want to see you play with them. Make some shit up.
They don't want to take them out of the fucking package. They get mad.
Coward.
They get mad if there's a ding in the package. I've watched their videos.
Man, okay, I may offend some people here. So I have some friends that are into a certain niche comics adjacent thing. Leans heavily into comics. It's sort of like Magic the Gathering, but it's called Hero Clicks. I might bleep it out because I don't want to offend this group of kids that I know. But that is more respectful to me. Like, I feel like they are buying the toys. They're super hyped on them. Like, check this shit out. It's Superman doing a hyper laser beam or some shit like that.
Hell yeah.
And then they go, boom, I'm going to put it in the D&D dungeon and we're going to fight.
Yeah. Any kind of like engagement with these things is fine.
It's way cooler.
Yeah. And like, that's something that I think really just got lost in time. And I think the real sad like story of nerd culture as a whole is that it went from something that was so fan driven and that was like, people making custom figures of the toys, like, man, imagine there was a Deadshot action figure or whatever, and so they break out the paints and they fucking get it in and they take a picture of it and they send it into fucking Toy Fair. It's a whole thing. That's cool to me. Fucking just buying a Deadshot action figure is fucking silly.
Why? Yeah, I don't get it personally. Like, that's something that. Why would you buy it? We were just talking about it today with the fucking records. Like, why would you buy a record and not interact with it?
Buying a Hawkman toy is cool if no one knows what the fuck a Hawkman is. When I guess technically what. The last Superman movie that came out, the one that's in the theaters now, like Guy Gardner's in it, big, super big. Like Guy Gardner is cool if no one knows who Guy Gardner is, but like when Guy Gardner is in the biggest movie, the biggest piece of media, one of the largest pieces of media this year, is there something? Do you really need to broadcast your love of Guy Gardner in that way? And even if you take out like the big factor, again, if we're talking about like a place like Super 7 that like zeroes in on these niche communities, like you making your own toy of The Thing or of Krull or whatever obscure movie, that's cool. Or like, a bunch of fans doing a Kickstarter to get the mold made. That's cool.
That's pretty badass.
I don't think there's anything cool about a company just making a Krull toy or making.
I don't either.
Any of these things. It's like almost like, well, once you make it, it stops being cool. I love that show, Home Movies. Which is like kind of great. Thankfully, just forgotten by time in a lot of
it hasn't received that weird like fervor and like, but it still has. We are still out there. That community is out
100%, and it's not like hard to find either. A lot of people know and love that show and everything, but you can't buy Home Movies Funko Pops, and you can't. There's no like merchandising drive. I don't know if you watched that piece of shit fucking King of the Hill reboot that's come out recently. It's fucking atrocious, and it's like, thank God Home Movies isn't on that level. Thank God no one knows about it. They could just let it be. That's like
still
monkey paw wish. Oh, I wish there was another season of Home Movies, and then they fuck it up. They fuck it up. I have enough faith in the creative staff that they wouldn't, but still, it's if they made toys of Coach McGurk and Melissa or whatever, it wouldn't be cool.
It wouldn't even. I feel like it just wouldn't hit in this.
No, I would not care. Even if it's something I love, like there's nothing. It's cool because it's obscure. If you make a Coach McGurk plushie, that's fucking awesome. That's the coolest thing ever.
I think that would be silly, but also in its own way, it's because I think the fandom is pure.
Yeah,
just like
absolutely.
Or even just the piece of, like, right now, I don't think it's as good, but Smiling Friends has been giving me that vibe.
Oh, see, Smiling, you're in danger there, because Smiling Friends is just where Rick and Morty was at season 2.
You're right.
Remember the first time you saw Rick and Morty merchandise? You're like, oh, whoa, a Meeseek shirt. That's cool.
How like novel. Like, it was weird. It was actually kind of like,
and it was like you saw the first one, and it was like the next week it was like, oh my fucking god! Now I'm seeing Rick and Morty in the Supreme, in the Supreme hoodies and
with
all
the plushy stuff too.
Look, those fucking we're at this precipice with Smiling Friends where it is like we are 2 PVC figures away from the Spencer's giftification of Smiling Friends. It's right there. So I'm,
it is not that big. Like, home movies versus, I just bring up Smiling Friends because they had that thing of, and almost like Robot Chicken had this thing when it first started, where it was like very anti, like fandom, if you will. Like, it was like, it's kind of like the inside joke a little bit with like for Smiling Friends, it's like the YouTube shit, like modern shit. When Smiling Friends back then was, home movies was more of like that small town, just like it was still pre like this era, whatever we're in now, whether it's like hyper modern or whatever you want to call it. Like, it was before this era of like being online.
And I think there was also a sincerity there. Like, it wasn't like the animation was crappy because I think it had to be. They didn't really have the budget that obviously like the Simpsons or something would have. So they, carrying over from Dr. Katz, they were just like, we'll have dialogue. We'll have it be dialogue driven. We'll keep everything simple as down to the wire as we could possibly do it, so that we can keep going. I don't think there was like, hey, what if the animation sucked? I don't think it was like, trying to make some statement, and I don't think they could make it better. And frankly, I mean, Metalocalypse kind of shows it, like, once they did,
shredded that
show. It was still like from a mentality of like, hey, what if you tried your hardest to do something good?
That's true. And like, they were using it wasn't like fast media. That they were
100%
like, pulling for.
Still all very analog. I mean, DVD box set era. Jesus Christ.
I remember I bought Deep Space Nine, the collection.
Oh, wow.
This was at like when Target was first having DVDs. And one of the home movies was right there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Calling to you.
It was calling, but I went for the DS9.
Not a bad call. I feel like have we said enough? Well, you have any other any SDCC questions burning in your brain?
I think I'm getting a clear picture of comics as they are now, and I think it makes me happy to hear that there's still a bubble within this big bubble of comics.
Signs of life.
There's oxygen there.
Yes,
like,
for sure. And like I said, as someone who kind of went there growing up and has a lot of nostalgia for what comics were, it really makes me happy that there are still some artists forward opportunities there. Artist Alley's still thumping. Like, there's still cool stuff there if you look for it. It is, of course, deafened by everything. But I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I don't enjoy anything. So I think that was a nice thing I could say about it. I'm endorsing San Diego Comic-Con still, even if you're the snobbiest of snobs, which would still make you less of a snob than me. There's still something for you there if you look hard enough in the comics realm. And
it's still like a lighthouse out there, right?
They're still there, and it's a unique experience. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I'm pro Comic-Con. I do need to start seeking out the smaller ones. I'm putting Heroes.
That's a good one, actually.
I think Heroes Con is a big one.
I've heard of Heroes Con in is that in like Costa Mesa or something? Yeah. I've heard of Heroes Con. I'm curious about the Fantasy Con that I hear that goes on. I think it's like I think it's usually in winter sometime. But I mean, I'd like to see where the people are at. Like, where are the people that?
That's a strange one because I also was at a lot of Ren fairs growing up. Not to brag about having a lot of friends and being really cool, but like I dabbled in those waters. I painted some minifigs and all that, and like let me tell you, like I see like TikToks and shit now of like cosplay and everything, and it is like, brother, it is a different world. It is like a cool thing to do. Like there are cool, like it's not reticulated to home movies had a good. If you want to know about the pre-TikTok Ren fairs,
that episode.
Let them fight. It's funny watching nerds fight and the sci-fi guys and the Ren fair guys clash.
Fuck, that episode's perfect.
100%. Like, and so it would be interesting to see the post-TikTok Ren fantasy realm. I don't know if it's as skeevy as it felt growing up.
Are there Ren fair comics?
There's fantasy stuff, something like Mouse Guard, or like
like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of going on. You go to the library and you look around, and there's there'll be some. There's always some paperback that looks a little too digital for my liking. That's everyone's got, what do they call it? The Tumblr nose where the shit's red. Everyone's got that shit going on, and they're
that
like
sort of drawings.
They're elves and shit. There's still elves and shit. They're out there.
Then that warms the heart.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know.
As long as I can still believe in elves out there.
For sure. Fables, that was a big one for a long running comic.
I like that comic.
I couldn't tell you what's popping right now in the fantasy world, but
I hope there's just RuneScape
that's true.
Out there. That'd be hard.
There's a lot of IP, World of Warcraft comics and shit like that.
Would that hit, or is it too diluted?
It all kind of depends on how much the people care who's putting it together. I mean, just like anything.
If you're passionate about it.
Yeah, if you just get some guys who will work cheap, just like anything, you're going to get a poor comic. I haven't heard. I mean, again, I'm kind of in highbrow, snooty circles or whatever, but I haven't heard of anyone talk about like video game IP comics highly, but if you told me there's like a run of like a Dark Souls comic that's like actually kicks ass, I'd be like, I'll buy it.
I'd like to dive into that world.
I can't. I mean, it's like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Right. It's just like when I was, when you were a kid and I was a kid, and I was like, NES generation, and it's like, oh, here's the Ninja Turtles game, here's the Predator game, here's the X-Men game, and inevitably they all fucking suck dog shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like the money they spent was to get the rights to the characters and the IP, and they put Wolverine on the box, and you're like, hell yeah, Wolverine's on the box, you're going to buy it, and then the game sucks, it doesn't matter, it's an afterthought, And IP-based video games forever were dog shit. At some point, it turned around, and they started putting, I don't know, it's like so fucking counterintuitive, where like, if I could point out a good NES game, something like Rockin' Cats on Capcom.
Whoa, I remember that one, dude.
Not many people do, but that's an awesome game. Why did that game rule and Wolverine fucking suck? And Wolverine is actually not the worst of the fucking video game.
There was a Spider-Man on NES that was absolutely like you couldn't even control Spider-Man.
No, the first Ghostbusters game, atrocious. Ghostbusters 2 kind of slapped. I'll go to bat for that one.
Did you ever play a Comix Zone?
Oh, that's a Sega Genesis?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if you ever.
I know the box. I've
Dude.
like run through an emulator on it. And
Okay, yeah.
I'm like familiar with it, but I've never like sat
That's
down
an
and played
actual
it.
fun one.
Is that a 2D side scroller?
That's a Genesis platformer.
Kind of like is
side-scroller.
it played sort of like the X-Men one?
Yeah.
Where it's like, it kind of
That's the one I was thinking about too. It kind of sucks, but you get to play as like 4 different characters for the first time ever.
But it's completely original IP.
Yeah.
It's not like you're playing as anyone.
Yeah.
But at some point, to my point, they realize, hey, if people are buying a Wolverine game, why don't we make a Wolverine game good? And that's why like the Spider-Man games are huge now.
Those ones are fucking awesome.
Yeah, everyone fucking seems to love them. So it's like at some point they realize, oh wait, put money into these.
Let's put some effort in that.
Yeah, exactly. So I imagine comics kind of work the same way, where it's like if you buy a Halo comic, because of the IP,
is that going to be good? Is that world like? Does it stand up to a comic storytelling? Or I think more to your point, it does matter if the person is passionate and is into the world. They have to be. I'm
not ruling it out as a concept,
right?
But I am. I have doubt. To quote my favorite movie, Doubt.
I have doubt.
What if that was my favorite movie? That was so
sick. My favorite movie might be Pig now.
Pig, Jesus! I don't think is that Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen it.
Dude.
Okay.
All right, man.
Enough tangents.
Yeah.
Go to Comic-Con. See you at Comic-Con 2025. Bye.
Dude, that was 15 minutes.